Hi class, we're going to do a quick review of Math 9, 11, and 13. And before we move on into the review or the new lectures, we need to talk about the actual graphs. Now, if they want you to graph on the number line, in this case, two numbers, 8 and 20, we're basically looking at the following. So we typically just do this to some sort of a scale. So in this case, I'm just going to put 0 here. And then this will be 10. And I'm going to put this as 20. And not to scale, but I'm going to put this as the value of 8. Now, your main answer is not that you put the dash and the 8 and the 20, but it's a dot. So we're putting a dot on the number 8 and then a dot on the number 20. We typically put 0 just as a reference, but your main answer is the dot on the number line, not above it or below it. Let's take a look at a second problem. In this case, 7 and negative 3. So I'm just going to put the dash, and let me use green again. So I'll put 0 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. And then once again, our final answer, let me count them again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's going to be the dot at 7, and then the dot at negative 3. Once more, not above it or below it, just on the number line. If you're given a mix of numbers, so for example, on this one, on problem C, you're given a half and 2, put some sort of a scale. I'm going to say that that's 0, this is 1, and this is 2. So this would be a 1/2. You do have to label at the bottom the value that you're about to put a dot on, just to make sure that if the scale is not clear, we're good to identify the answer. In this case, that would be our solution. I'm just putting a dot on where it's approximately a half, and then on the values of 2. Let's take a look at the next one. So in this situation, I'm just going to put that this is 0, this is 1, this would be the values of 2, this would be 1.5, this will be 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1.3, and then 0.8 is just going to be, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, oh shoot, okay, so not to scale, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 1. Okay, and then just to make sure that it's clear that we're dotting 0.8, we're just going to put the 0.8 there, and then the 1.3 there. Some of the graphs that you're going to be putting dots on or checking them off, they're already going to be constructed to scale using software. In this case, I just want a basic sketch of where 0.8 is and then where 1.3 is on the number line. Same idea on the other ones. That's actually it for the graphs. And the most important part to review on the graphs is your solution is the dot on the number line. And at the moment, all of these are x values. In a later module, we're going to talk about x's and y's, but that's actually it for these. Now, let's take a look at rounding. Okay, so some of the problems are going to ask you to round because of applications. And then on problem 2, they want you to round to the 1,000. So in that case, that's the value that we're rounding to. Now, the next step is to look at the test digit. In this case, the number to the right of the test digit, it's a 3. If it had been 5 or greater, you round up. So in this case, our answer is going to be rounding down. But you're not going to move the 4. You're going to move the 3 to 0 and then every other value. So the final answer, it'll be 84,000 and then 0, 0, 0. So the closest to rounding that number to the nearest 1,000, it's 84,000. On problem 3, we have another rounding one. And careful on this one because they want you to round to the tens. So we have the ones, that's your tens. The test digit, which is to the right, it's greater than or equal to 5, so you round up. Now that causes this to be round up, that causes this to the other 9 to be round up. So your final answer, and this one is a little bit of unusual, rounding to the nearest 10, it's gonna bump all the digits to 3,000. And that's it for this one. Let's take a look at problem 4. Now, they want us to write 0.75 as a fraction in a reduced form. So 0.75 is equal to 0.75. The first step to write it as a fraction is to express it as a fraction. I'm going to express it as a 1 at the bottom. Remember that any number, so if you have the number of a, this is the same as a over 1, and now you consider it a fraction. Now, the next step is going to be to express that number, in this case, the fraction, with no decimals. So because you have 0.75, you're going to multiply by powers of 10. But in this case, we're looking at powers of 10. That is going to cancel the 0.75. So we're going to multiply times 100 and times 100, which is going to give us the values of 75 over 100. And this is going to be now reduced, so we can express it as 25 times 3 over 25 times 4. And the fraction in reduced form happens to be 3/4. Okay, that's actually it for these set of problems. I'll put the other ones on a different video.